It's been a year of transition and fun. So let's take a look back at 2024 and also take a look forward at what 2025 may bring. Welcome to Pop Culture Passport, your ultimate guide to quirky and cool destinations across the US. I'm your host, Beth Scalacci, aka the Roman Yeti, here to help you dive into the world of theme parks, uncover film and TV locations, and explore quirky museums, roadside attractions, and legendary venues that capture the heart and soul of this unique country. So grab your pop culture passport and let's discover destinations that resonate with your interest, not just with what's trending on social media. Are you ready? Let's roam! Welcome back and Happy New Year! As the holidays wind down, I can't help but reflect on the whirlwind that was 2024. For me, it's been a year of big transitions, and thankfully, most of them have been really positive. This past year, I decided to really be authentic in how I like to travel and what I like to do and all the pop culture things that I enjoy. And I really leaned hard into that. And, because that's what makes me me. And it's led to changes across the board. You're hearing it here in the podcast if you visited the updated website. And honestly, my life, I'm so much more comfortable in talking about the things that that make me happy and places I like to travel. And I'm finding, you guys know too, like the more you talk about, the more people you find that are into it as well. So it's really been this eye-opening, fun revelation for this year. The start of 2024, it really marked the end of one chapter in my career, in my marketing business. I had lost my last client. They were doing budget cuts, and marketing usually gets cut. But with that door closing, it really led to this exciting new chapter that I'm in with focusing on Roman Yeti and the pop culture passport full time. Am I still figuring out how to pay the bills? Yes, absolutely. I need to figure that out fully. But hey, I've got some ideas and we're gonna roll with them and we'll see how they go. So thanks for your support as always and listening and sharing and reviewing and rating. It helps to my future plans to keep this podcast going. So thank you. Uh, and that brings me to another huge highlight of 2024 was, checking my listener stats and realizing that this little podcast has reached every continent in the world except for Africa and Antarctica. How cool and crazy is that? I love sharing this information with you and thank you for being part of this wonderful crazy journey that I'm on. I'd love to know from you, do you have a favorite episode from the past year or, in the complete catalog? For me this past year, I have to say recording the Epcot World Showcase walkthrough was really, a lot of fun for me. It really felt like we were all on this trip to Epcot together and we're walking around and sort of pointing out the hidden details and the Easter eggs. And it just, I don't know, it was a lot of fun to record and put together. Um, and so if you liked sort of those walkthrough ones, let me know. I'm up for doing more. This is our podcast. It's not mine. I want to make sure that you're hearing the information you want to hear, and of course I'm going to discover places you probably haven't heard of. That's part of it too. But if there's information you want about when I'm out places, like let me know. I'm really working through some ideas, so your input is huge to me. So thank you. But let's talk also about like travel. Looking back in 2024, we realized we didn't take like a big trip or a what I would call a vacation. We squeezed in 2 quick Disney getaways. One, was a 3-day one that I tacked on to a conference, and one we went for 4 days because basically we had to use up, Vacation Club. points, but, most of what our adventures were this year were day trips, which is so cool and so fun. Some were from our home base here in Maryland, some were we took while visiting my father-in-law in New York State, and some we did while we were in Cincinnati visiting our daughter. So we we were in different places, but they were really day trips from where we were, visiting, and again, not really on vacation, but, it was just so much fun exploring and sharing these places with you, and I can't wait to do more. We just went to 2 very fun, very different places, this past weekend that I'll be sharing in one in January and one in February, I believe. Um, I can't wait to share them with you because very fun places, great times. But again, this brings me to that, like, picking that favorite day trip. Like, it's for me, I think it's impossible to pick that favorite day trip, but I'm gonna try. Um, I have to say Dinosaur Land in Virginia will always have this little, like, spot in my heart. I think it was sort of that first inkling that we were like, "Hey, we can do day trips. What's in our local area?" And I just fell in love with the place because it is the quintessential roadside attraction. Um, I also fell in love with Loveland Castle outside of Cincinnati. Totally surprised me. It was one of those I had no idea what to expect. It was $5 to get in and wander around and just be in awe of this place that was made by hand. Um, so that one really, really surprised me, and I liked it a lot. Um, of course, I can't leave out the Jello Museum or It's a Wonderful Life Museum. It just I can't wait to go back to Seneca Falls when they reopen the new expanded, It's a Wonderful Life Museum. There were a lot of places other that we covered in episodes this year, but I actually traveled and saw them in 2023. So, um, these were pretty much the ones we did in 2024. But I don't know, they all are unique and it's hard to compare. They're in different locations, so I didn't have to make choices of like, well, we can only go to one. But but they were all fun. But I will say Dinosaur Land and Loveland Castle were really, really cool. I believe the Dinosaur Land episode is back in May if you're looking for that one, and Loveland Castle was in November, I believe. So, um, take a listen if you haven't yet. Now, looking ahead to 2025, I'm not a big predictions person, but I did stumble across some fun travel trend predictions from Expedia. And I think a few of them align really well with our point of view here, our vibe here at Pop Culture Passport. And let me know what you think. So they have these detour destinations, they call it. So this is when you go to a big tourist hub and sort of leave and find those other places outside. Um, I mean, this is exactly what we love to do, right? We go we go to a big city or a big area and we find those sort of quirky things, those pop culture inspired stops that really, speak to our heart. So I think we're totally on board with this one. Um, the next one is so interesting to me. It's called a goods getaway. So it's planning trips with extra suitcase space to pick up local goodies, whether that's makeup or food. For me, it's usually food. In our case, it could be collectibles. Like maybe we travel to Comic-Con and we have an extra suitcase because you're coming home with stuff. Um, or you're gonna go to a really quirky roadside attraction and you want to make sure you buy shirts for the family. So it's definitely that and food. I usually try to bring food home. It doesn't always make it home, but but I try. And the last one, it's us. It's made for us. Set jetting is visiting film locations from movies and TV shows, and like this one was made for us, right? Now, in the article, this was a lot of like tropical locations where like White Lotus and stuff was filmed, which is great. Would love to see them, but we're US based and we have so many set jetting spots here. I brought you the holiday ones in New York City and I did the Hocus Pocus and I have a few more on the calendar that I'm looking forward to digging into. But tell me, like, do you have a favorite movie or show location you want me to cover? Send me a message. And just as a reminder, you can send it on, there's a contact form on our website. And there is the send us a text link in the show notes that will send a message to me as well. So please, what do you guys want to see? Let me know. As for my own 2025 plans, well, John and I are heading to Disney in January for a little natural vitamin D. I need some sun and some warm weather. And to check out Festival of the Arts. It's my favorite festival at Epcot. We went last year, but the show was sort of in transition, and I didn't really get to share it with you. But this year, I am going to be doing a super quick turnaround on that trip. And if there's anything you want me to cover, either on social media or in the episode, again, let me know. I would be happy to track that down. We're also planning an actual bigger trip, a family trip to LA later this year. We I have put together a huge list of potential places and I sort of started plotting them on a Google map just to see like where they are to make sure we have some feasibility and how much traveling we would do each day. But we know that Disneyland and Universal are must-dos, and we're looking at maybe one of the three studio tours, some Disney themed locations, and we have some iconic LA stops in there too. I don't know, like maybe I'll let it up for you guys to pick one of the stops. Like I'll give you an option. That'd be fun, like a listener listener selected location. So stay tuned for that too. But on the day trip front, I have my eyes on some pretty cool places in Baltimore, more in DC, Western New York, and Philadelphia might be a stretch for us for a day trip, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to make that happen too. But what's on your travel list for 2025? Let me know your plans. Where are you heading? Even internationally, like where are you heading and doing there? There's so much cool um pop culture and quirky and iconic stuff to do all over the world for sure. So I would love to hear. On the content side, I am finally restarting my newsletter. Sign up at theroamingyeti.com. Um, I'm going to try to put different information than I do in the podcast. And I've also just put together a bingo card that I think you'll find fun, and I'll be sharing that with readers this month. It's sort of a pop culture passport themed bingo card to work on, either this year or throughout a couple years. It'll it'll take some time probably. I'm also hoping, well, I'm not hoping, I need to improve my video editing skills so that I can share more of our adventures. I take a lot of pictures and video when we're places, and I'm not great at the video editing yet. So I'm working on that. Stay tuned. Hopefully I can make that happen. And there's one more thing I'm working on, but I can't quite reveal it yet. I know I hate to be a tease, but I have to I have to. But I will give you a hint. It might just make planning your next little getaway or trip a little easier. So I'm also so excited to the opening of theme parks. We have Universal's Epic Universe is opening in Orlando this summer, May, I believe. And I really want to check it out, but I don't know that I don't know if the fates will align. Maybe in the fall. I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm gonna keep my eyes on all the Disney changes and all the other theme parks. I don't really know that theme park news is that the podcast is the best for that, but I definitely want to be able to share that. So I'm sort of in between. Um, it'll probably be in the newsletter at first, and then as I get better on YouTube and video, maybe there. So again, sign up for that newsletter so you can get sort of the little tidbits in between episodes and so forth. On the entertainment front, oh man, this year is gonna be so good. We have 3 Marvel movies, a new season of Mythic Quest. If you haven't watched it on Apple TV and you have Apple TV, check it out. Rob McElhenney. It's a funny show. It's very, very clever. Andor is returning. We're getting another Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. Second half of Wicked. I mean, speaking of Wicked, like when do we think we're gonna get Wicked in a Universal theme park? Like, it's only a matter of time, right? And one last one that I cannot wait for. Um, Thursday Murder Club is coming to Netflix, and it's based on the books. Have you read the books? I love these books. I fell in love with every single character in this book. So I can't wait to see them on the screen. I'm not sure what the date is, but I'm looking forward to it for sure. So, I'm just looking forward to the year. It feels just so full of promise, and I'm so grateful to have you guys along for the ride. Let's keep exploring and sharing and connecting. Don't be shy. Please reach out via the show notes or on social media. And I want us together. We'll discover all the quirky and cool places that make traveling our way so special. So, here is to an incredible 2025. And with that, we add another stamp to our pop culture passport. I hope that this episode inspires you to get out and explore all that is quirky and cool, even in your own backyard. Follow, download, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Tell a friend and leave a review if you like what we're doing. It really helps the show grow. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for The Roaming Yeti. Keep roaming and finding your fun.